Hey, hello, welcome to the Mind Body Energy Project.
Hi.
Hey, Tiffy.
I feel like 4 o'clock came really fast today.
You know, it really did. It really, really did. I was so.
I did a million things today,
Uh-huh.
but I'm still surprised it's just 4 o'clock now.
I know. Well, first of all, it's been a minute since we've done a live. So, happy July.
Happy July. And also, drum roll, please.
Ba-da-da-ba-ba.
Happy MBE project anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Tiffy. We made it. One solid year.
High five.
High five up top, babe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it?
To this day.
I meant to look at how many episodes. I think we're just over 50.
Well, that's the way it should be because there's 52 weeks in a year. So
Yeah. So we were right on target. I don't think we skipped a week. Maybe one in the entire year. I don't know.
maybe. But I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting when you think about that. Just it's been a year. It doesn't feel like it. Like, I kind of feel like we started this a few months ago. And then there's also a part where it feels like, we've been doing this forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, we used to talk about doing this for so long.
I know.
Get stuck on my couch. Remember the first one we tried to record, like way before we did the Mind Body Energy Project?
I don't want to talk about it.
Do you remember? And
I remember it.
We ordered Postmates and got plumeria.
Yes, I remember it.
Which is vegan food for those.
Did you get rid of that video?
I don't know where that video is. It's somewhere. Josh is here. Hi, Josh. He said happy anniversary.
Hey, Josh.
Thanks, love.
Thank you.
Yes.
Funny. A year of rabbit holes and spreadsheets, he said. It's true.
That's exactly what it's been.
It's very true.
Thank you for mentioning that because even though we're doing the tarot journey now, there's still rabbit holes within this as well because it's given us a lot of opportunity to look at different situations in our own lives, different experiences we have, different perspectives that we all have and go through, as well as the spreadsheet. I did post a cheat sheet for a patron of tarot explanations for the minor arcana cards because we're talking about this from a lens of, if we're doing our self-work and how these cards can be mirrors for us. But I posted that just so that you guys can also have definitions very specific to reading. So have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt so Tiffany-esque doing a spreadsheet.
Oh. Did you put it in a spreadsheet form?
Mm-hmm. I did it in Excel, and then I saved it as a PDF. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Going back to my corporate life.
Yeah, corporate life.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So today we're talking about the wands again, going 5 through 7. And these cards really highlight a lot of energy around like competition and even success and challenges and perseverance. Mm-hmm. Again, very common themes for us in these crazy lives. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, I have to ask you, because I feel like I haven't spoken to you forever, even though I know it's not true.
I know. I was going to say, what are you talking about? We talked for an hour the other day.
I know. Yeah, that was good. Oh, I almost said the safe word. I'm not going to do it.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to do it. I caught myself, you see?
Yeah, I know. I felt it.
Good stuff. So what's been new in your zoo?
What?
What's been new in your zoo? Happy anniversary. What's been new?
Well, the monkeys are running all over the place. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, remind me to tell you after. Maybe on a different podcast we'll share this experience, but I have to tell you about the universe speaking very loudly.
I mean, what are you going to leave us all hanging now? Like, what?
Yeah, you do this all the time. You do this all the time.
So everyone listening has to suffer?
They're not going to suffer because they came here to listen to the tarot journey for 5, 6, and 7 of the wands.
Now, maybe everyone's excited for the anniversary and want to hear what's going on in your zoo first.
Nothing's going on in my zoo.
Okay.
The zookeeper's on sabbatical.
It might be just me.
The animals are hibernating.
Okay.
We're focusing on the wands.
Well, what were you going to say?
What's new in your zoo?
What's new in my zoo? I have been reading and preparing for some upcoming interviews. I've been reading two books simultaneously for my own personal choosing and selection, which is always great because I feel like I rarely get to do that. So I'm having fun playing with my own exploration down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, remember the whole thing? I have more to tell you about that. So I'll tell you about that after too, since we're being
you see?
scenes.
You started this. I do have to say though, speaking of rabbit holes, earlier I was studying the tarot and looking at them in my Chakra Wisdom tarot card that I'm getting to become one with. I started looking at the Kabbalistic tree of life,
mm-hmm.
and how they're synced with the tarot cards and how they're synced with the numbers and then the recurring themes. And I almost didn't get on live today because I was diving down a deep hole of the Kabbalistic tree of life.
Oh, goodness.
Because I need to know all of the things. There's 22 pathways in between 10 of the spheres.
Yes, I know this, love.
I know.
That's what those lines are in between.
I know. And it's all of the major arcana.
Honey, I know.
The pins are the pips.
You're not about to get everybody stuck in confusion. If anybody wants to learn about this extra stuff, no, you go to Tiffany's website.
I don't know it all yet. I don't know it all. I haven't pieced the puzzle pieces together yet.
Go to Mind Your Chakra.
I see the numbers for the codes, but I haven't gotten to decode it yet.
Blah, blah, blah. Go to mindyourchakras.com and you email Tiffany and tell her you want to have some kind of class or something for her to put together so that you guys could go down the rabbit hole about the tree of life.
I'm working on it.
I have it hanging over my doorway in my office, a golden one.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to show everyone this tarot coloring book.
Mm-hmm.
I got this earlier this year, and it was in an attempt to make me connect with the minor arcana, but it's really fun. So I wanted to show this to you guys in case you like to color. It's very meditative anyway. It's by a woman named Teresa Reed. I got it on Amazon. And just an example. Oops. Here's my Empress.
Ooh, beautiful.
I know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But she puts so much good information over there. Yeah. She has definitions and just some really good stuff. It's a fun way to also connect with the cards if you're someone who is really trying to go deep with the tarot.
That's a really good way to learn.
Yeah. Too. It's not so boring. We're going to liven it up too on this little... Can you believe we are through the cups, in the wands, talking about our expression of life force? Fire, fire.
Uh-huh. Number 5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you are doing this with us, please grab your decks. Oh, Kristen is here. She's listening from the beach. She's calm and rude. Are you on Cape Cod? Where are you at?
Just rude. Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Listening from the beach. Whatever. It's good to see you, Chris. I have this picture of me and her in Cape Cod when we were 8 and 9.
Oh my God.
I'll show you one day. A mess.
That's so cute.
Okay. So 5 of Wands, as we've talked about, the 5s often talk about conflict or change occurring just in general, just from the number alone. So again, if you connect with the numbers of the cards, that can also give you some indication about what the energy is around whatever the card may be. But in the 5 of Wands, you see these people all looking like they are fighting with their wands, which are like sticks or branches.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
To me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay. No, your face made me think am I holding up the right card?
No, I was looking at my spreadsheet.
Oh.
I was contemplating something. I was contemplating. That's my contemplative luck.
So there's a lot of competition energy in this card. As you can see, there's conflict. They may be competing around something. And just in our own lives, when you see this energy, it's what is it about? What are any times where you maybe felt some conflict with others, maybe at work with some project, maybe in relationship, or a time where you felt that you were competing with others? And what's funny about this is I think a lot of times the competition's in our head.
Mm-hmm.
We may be competing with other people in our head and they're not even fighting with us. But anyway, what do you think of when you see this card or what comes up for you?
I think strong opinions,
Mm-hmm.
and a battle to be heard. So like everybody's standing their own ground in what they have to say and what they want to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the message of it is to hold your position so that you are heard.
Well, the interesting thing is they all have very different positions. Like if you look at the image itself, where you're using the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, they all have very different positions, and they have on different color shoes. And I wonder if the coloring of their shoes has anything to do with like where they're sourcing this energy from. Like maybe the one that has brown shoes, he's more grounded. Blue shoes maybe more heady. The red more fiery. I'm totally making this up, but you see how you can pick up on different aspects of the cards to help you translate the meaning of what it is that you're seeing. So those of you watching, can you think of just even maybe recently in life where you felt some type of conflict, and how did you work through that?
I'll show you while we're waiting for any responses. This is the Chakra Tarot Wisdom deck, and it's coincided with the throat chakra. So the message here is giving mixed messages, and maybe not just mixed messages out in the world, but mixed messages to ourselves. Like you said, the ideas in our heads that get conflicted. And one of the meanings of this is surrendering the fears that we're putting out that are creating the mixed messages either to the outside world. And if we're doing it to the outside world, it's reflected back to us, and then it becomes our inner world and vice versa. So it becomes this cycle. So getting very clear with the expression of what it is that we're trying to achieve with holding our ground of what our position is on something.
One of the things that you just made me think of with that, we have said every week that we're using the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but we also mentioned that there are all different types of decks. And like even I was showing the Afro Goddess Tarot, that's the 5 of Wands. And they're in different decks, the definitions may be different. Like they may have variations. They all kind of speak to the same type of energy, but the meaning may be different. So if you choose a deck, or if you're working with a deck and the image is different than what we're looking at, still pay attention to what you are personally getting from that image or from the translation written by the author or the creator of whatever deck you're using. I can't believe everyone's so quiet. Hello, happy anniversary. What do you guys think about 5 of Wands? When you come into these situations, out of curiosity, if you are in a situation where you are feeling competition or you're feeling some type of conflict with others and maybe in a group, how do you deal with it?
Yeah, this card could be a reflection of showing us that which we're trying to achieve, that we could be the obstacle, number 5, the obstacle of getting it, because we're doing the same method over and over again, trying to achieve something or trying to communicate something or create something in our lives, but we're approaching it from the same direction all the time. So maybe if we chose a different ground to stand on and try to see other people's opinions.
That's what I was thinking.
So firm in our own opinion, maybe we do take in somebody else's opinion and try the application of that.
And that's the thing, because a lot of times when people are in conflict or disagreeing, they may be saying the same thing, but in very different languages. And so it's like, you just can't hear each other. So sometimes it is best to like tell everybody, like, drop your wand, everybody pause and ask questions to clarify, ask and try to understand what other people's positions may be. And it may be a situation where you can even find some compromise.
Yeah. My Aries brother, I think we always are, our trajectory to the end point is always the same position, but we have very different paths of how we get there.
I'm thinking of a friend of mine who may be watching. It says they're watching, but I don't know if they're still here or not. But we have some serious fiery conversations. And they are one of my dearest friends. And like when we meet to chat, it doesn't matter what it's about, like 5 of Wands, there's the energy right there. And 9 times out of 10, we are saying the same thing, but in very different ways. And so, yeah. And then we work it out.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if this means anything to anybody, but I'm going to throw it out there that the 3 cards we're talking about today are Leo energy,
Mm-hmm.
and the 5 is in the energy of Saturn. So Saturn in Leo. That was another rabbit hole I almost went down. I just stopped myself.
Yeah, no, I don't. I only look at the astrology connected to the majors, but it's interesting because we are not that far off, a few weeks away from Leo season.
Oh,
So
boy.
then we have the 6 of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving a little bit out of that conflict energy, and we get to the 6 of Wands, where this looks more like victorious, but he's like an inspirational character. Look at him.
Yeah.
His posture is serious. There's even like a bend in his back because he's sitting so erect. And there's a wreath at the top. And look at the horse, even looks like he's proud.
And it also feels like the 5 wands that are in the background are the 5 of wands from the previous
the conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're respectful of this victory.
Well, maybe the one person who stopped to ask the questions to clarify, to get everybody to chill out, was the one that was a good display of leadership. So another thing with this card is it's a really good display of leadership. And absolutely, if you have a group conflict, I mean, something has to give. And how do you become like an effective leader with anything? I mean, in relationship, again, work a lot comes up for me around this energy. Seems to be where people bump heads a lot in group dynamics. Oh, family too, I guess. Yeah. But what comes up for you with the 6 of Wands?
As you were saying, I get a lot of work related feelings of energy to these 2 cards. Because I think that's typically where we find ourselves the majority of the day. And yes, family is a huge factor too. But yeah, these feel very business like to me.
Yeah.
This is the tarot, the chakra tarot.
It's really pretty.
Her arms are up in a V for a victory.
I like cheerleader. Yeah. Have you ever had that type of situation where maybe there was a group dynamic and it was kind of everything was running amok, and either you were the person that had to bring it all in to help diffuse the chaos, or someone else took that position and was able to get everybody like back on the same page?
I've been in both positions, yeah.
Well, how typically, do you handle
that? If I'm the mediator, I feel like I'm good at seeing a lot of different angles of things, so I can bridge the gap sometimes. I feel like that's a strength of mine. However, the other side of it is, again, family. If it's me, my brother's going at it, my mom tries to be the mediator, and then I'm like, you just don't understand. My emotions are never heard.
Oh, Jesus. But is she an effective leader? Like this energy of this card, is she good at kind of wrangling you all in?
She's very persistent at it. Success? My mom had 3 very passionate, stubborn children. Eventually she's successful, but she has to be persistent about it. And whoever the children are that are involved, we have to come off of our hot-headedness.
Yeah, it reminds me of people who are inspirational. When I see this card, people who may inspire us. I mean, even like I think of like Oprah, love her. She could be your 6 of Wands. But even I think of in terms of like what I do day to day, classes. Like if you've ever been the one like teaching a class or facilitating a circle or group work and you have very different personalities, conflict amongst the people, man. Yeah. 6 of Wands.
Yeah. And I get too that it's a person that can like just walk in a room and just their presence alone and the energy that they bring can kind of create that essence of like calmness or attention. Like standing at attention almost, where it's like, oh, they're like a teacher, like the teacher's here.
Well, it makes me think of too, because when you think about wands and you think about it being the energy of fire, and again, you with fire and wands, you think about how you're directing your life force. And it's like, are you just adding fuel to the fire, throwing in fireballs? Are you responding in a way that maybe isn't necessarily supporting solution? Or are you in an energetic presence or stance that is going to actually create results, like in a positive way? And it's up to us. I mean, we can respond either way. We can fight until we're blue in the face, or we can figure out a way to do it differently and be more of an inspiration. Not everyone is a good leader.
No.
You can lead harshly or through inspiration.
Or stupidly. I'm not going to give any examples, but I'm sure everybody can figure it out. Okay. Hold on. 6 is Jupiter. So the other idea of that is Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I always get that one confused sometimes. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So it's like expanding this energy of being a leader, so that leading by example is where I was coming to with that. Like being the example that people want to follow because they feel that upright energy of like, oh, okay, this is how we should be behaving or acting.
And people could,
from a higher perspective.
People could relate this to that energy too, I guess, because it's also victorious, and that's like also supposed to be a very fortunate type of energy. But 7, woo! Okay, 7. 7 in a lot of ways is about like, I think of it as like spiritual introspection. Like usually we see the number 7, it's related to our spirituality, but it's a very personalized experience. But here in the 7 of Wands, this is like a very personalized challenge. So like where in the 5 of Wands, we're maybe in conflict with multiple people, this is like a group situation. Here we may have a conflict, but we're the only one fighting. We're fighting alone, or we're having to work hard to get to that victory, or we have to persevere. So this one is it reminds me that you can accomplish things, and it's not always going to be easy. Sometimes you got to go at it alone to get what you want, but you can persevere.
And I like how the ground that's under him, it almost seems like it's a piece of earth. Like it almost looks like the earth, just the planet, and he's like a giant on the planet. So that he's rising above the conflict and putting in the effort and the courage that he needs to in order to be above the conflict, in order to get above the obstacles, in order to find the success that's within.
Right. And one of the odd things about this card too, I don't know if you can tell in yours, he has on 2 different shoes. So it's also a reminder to be like in your integrity with what it is that you're working on and what you're doing. Like you're not going to be able to fool people. Like if you're trying to be a little slick about things, like it'll be obvious. So it's like, just work hard and be in your integrity about whatever it is that you're doing, and it'll pay off.
Yeah, I never noticed that. I can see that now, but it's hard to tell on the originals. So that's a very interesting point.
Yeah, so these cards, these 3 this time, I mean, again, like looking at competition energy, but I think both like that midpoint, the 6 card, is either side of this can lead to victory. So how we've been saying throughout this whole thing, you can look at them sequentially or in reverse. But either way, if you go 7 to 6 or 5 to 6, you can still get to victory. And there's just 2 very different paths of what those conflicts may look like. Challenges. Interestingly, this month that we're in, July, we had 2, well, we had 1 so far, but we have 2 eclipses with Mercury going in retrograde. So this whole month is going to give us a lot of opportunity to find resolve, to see things differently, to do things differently, to look at things in new ways. And again, like with the different cards that we're talking about, all of these give us good examples of how we can work through challenging energies.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the journey, because we always want to end on victory, right? But life ebbs and flows. So it's not necessarily that we're working towards victory with these, but it's that we're by one way we are victorious by overcoming one particular manner, and then we find ourselves in another one. So it's like we can keep on bouncing back and forth and only expanding our toolbox of how we handle conflict, and thereby creating, because the wands are about life force and what we're creating, right? The fire, the desire, and motivation. So just understanding that the journey is always going to be cyclical, that it's not linear, and that we're not working just towards victory. So you're going to come up against these things over and over again, but the more that you're open and aware of them and working mindfully through them, that you'll know how to get back to victory faster.
They remind me of leadership. I think of anything of these three cards, the overall thing that stands out for me is leadership. And it's basically because like we have to be mindful of how we're leading not only ourselves, but the impact and influence that we have on others in any situation that we're in. So it's, again, like thinking of our fire and our life force, like how are you not only generating and managing your energy, your mind, your emotions, and all of these things, but how is that being projected out? And how are you pouring your energy into things, whether it's in groups or things you're working on by yourself? Like the energy you hold and how you navigate and interact in those different situations matters. So it's like, be a good example, but also always like be a leader for yourself and, with others in mind. It reminds me of, I always tell people, like, how would you mentor yourself? Like when you have a challenge in life, how would you tell a friend? How would you mentor them? Like be that same mentor for yourself. Be in that role of inspiration or leadership as much as you can.
That's an interesting question, because some people might not think of themselves as mentors.
Yeah, but I mean, you better figure out how to be a mentor, because you need to learn how to.
They might realize that they're not and be like, oh shit, I better get on that.
Yeah, because you got to make decisions for yourself. If nothing else, you better mentor yourself. Even if nobody else listens to you, you want to be a good mentor, a good leader for your own life, for your own benefit, your own choices and journey.
Oh, Bryn says hello.
Hey, Bryn.
How long ago was that?
Bryn.
Hi, Bryn.
So, yeah, we're almost halfway through. I mean, we're over halfway through.
No, we're not. We haven't finished the second full suit yet. What are you talking about?
No, I mean just the wands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the wands. No.
People's perspective.
Yes, perspective. And now I know when we're done with wands, we'll be halfway through the minor arcana.
Seeing opinions in different shoes.
Yeah. It's interesting now that, we're here and we did the cups and we talked about emotion and balancing of emotion and like our intuitive nature. And then like now we're in the wands talking about really like our will, like how we take action, how we respond to things. I think we mentioned this before, but I love that the different suits highlight these different aspects of our own energy so that we can figure out how to balance and to harmonize. Because you can't just work on one and not the others. I mean, something will be out of whack.
Yeah. It's nice that this little deck of cards, these little pieces of papers with pictures on them, understands the dynamic that we are as individuals.
Yeah, I always think about that. I mean, because when you think about how complex we are,
right,
and you look at all of these different systems and how they've broken it up into, like, it's been segmented out, like these different aspects of us. And like, the patience it must have taken. Do you ever think about that? Like if you were around back when people were just starting to figure all of this out, or when they were starting to consider it all?
I was on a run one time. This was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't run anymore. That was a weird 2 years I did that. And I was thinking about how I actually wrote this on my Facebook. I was like, I'm glad that I wasn't the person who invented time, because as we know, like time is an invented thing in order for us to like be able to compartmentalize things and have a structure.
Yeah, but I was thinking about like watch the sun. mean, it's not like
in my
they
head
had
it was
to
more
like
profound than
figure
this.
out some weird calculations.
But they did. They had to sit and track it and then figure out like the
Of course.
seasons
Yes.
and then figure all of that out.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but I think
because I would have given up. I don't have the patience to do that.
Yeah, but it might have been fun. Like I think of right now, like I'm looking at my bookshelf and
sit
there's
for 24 hours, 365 days to figure things out. You think that would be fun?
Yeah, when everything was brand new. Because I think of like now, like looking at the books on my bookcase or classes I take, just information we get now, it's all old, you know?
Yeah,
and like, yes, it may inspire us to think of things in new ways, but even our new inspirations aren't new.
Right,
they may be new to us, but they're not new to the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, I think it probably would have been really cool to be at a time where you're pretty much working with a blank slate compared to today.
I think there's some blank slates we can work with.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure like people who are finding new ways to like work with technology, and yeah, I'm sure there's some people
or maybe
who feel like they're doing
our slates blank, and that needs to be.
Oh God, here she goes. Josh, look at this rabbit hole.
Oh wait, you're at a beach in Connecticut? I just saw that. Kristen's
in Connecticut.
I grew up in Connecticut.
Hopefully she is gone and enjoying the sand now.
Yeah.
She lives in Massachusetts. Yeah.
I wonder what beach in Connecticut.
Oh geez. Chris.
Most of them are in the Long Island.
In the comments if you're there.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Help me out of my rabbit hole.
Yeah, no. Me? Yeah. So now what are you playing with? Like, how are you directing your life force energy these days?
Chakras course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I keep getting distracted by other things like tarot cards.
Don't even get me started. I was thinking that the other day. I'm like, man, there are not enough hours in the day.
Enough hours.
Like how many things I want to put energy into, you know? And it's like, I really have to be disciplined. You have no idea. Doing this work in a way where like I share with other people and I have to create content, it has disciplined me in a way that I would never do in just my own little bubble. Like left to my own devices, I would read 20 different books at the same time. I would study 30 different things at the same time.
The discipline the slapping in the face of the discipline hasn't hit me yet because I'm all over the place.
No, you have to, because it's the only way you'll get things done. Like you have to go like, okay, put my tarot cards away while I work on my chakra things. So
I gotta set 10-minute timers.
No, but you can do something like, and this is for anyone, any kind of project or thing that you're working on, a goal that you're trying to accomplish. You have to be disciplined though. Like put it on your calendar. Like this time to this time is the only thing I'm going to focus on is this particular goal or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I'm only going to pour attention into this thing during these hours. That's what I have to do. It's become my life.
Be very disciplined about it.
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna finish it. So I don't know. I hope that I don't know what I was gonna say, but I want to say something else now. A year.
I know. I was thinking about. I wish we both had little flutes of champagne that we could be.
I know. I was thinking I should have like a little present for you. Like, Tiffy, happy anniversary. I was thinking though, I wish I would have looked like back at the archives, but actually I already know what one of my favorites was. But off the top of your head, do you have like a favorite episode or like a favorite topic that we covered?
Oh gosh. I don't remember.
What?
I remember what our number one was. We did mind mapping. That was our very first podcast.
Yeah, we did mind mapping in the beginning. Yes. I think my favorite was Halloween. Mainly because we both researched about like the history of Halloween and Day of the Dead. And it was like, that was interesting information. But then also because we tried to do something haunted in Old Town and weren't successful. But we tried. So we created like we had a field trip because of the podcast. So Yeah,
I
I
want to
think
look back at all of them now. I like the yoga one.
the yoga, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if anybody knows, I'm curious about where jack-o'-lantern comes from. I heard it the other day, and I don't remember in which context, but someone said something about, yeah. I mean, even when you think about the origin of a jack-o'-lantern, and I was like, what? And then it made me think of our Halloween special. That never even occurred to me to look that up. Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
Maybe it had to do with something with putting the lights in the pumpkins to scare away, to ward off the evil energies.
I don't know. It wouldn't have never crossed my mind to look up where jack-o'-lanterns came from. Are you Googling it?
No, I'm trying to find our podcast so I can remember all the things that we've done. Oh, there it is.
Well, for everyone else listening, hopefully over this last year, we have shared something with you that has inspired you or has supported you on your path. Hopefully you are getting familiar with your tarot decks, building a relationship with your deck through this particular series.
And building a relationship with yourself through this.
Yeah. But let us know. I mean, we love to hear what comes up for you. We really do. We say that all the time. And honestly, most people are like shy and don't say. But for the people who do, like we love reading like what your experiences are, whether you put it on social media, email us, wherever you send it. We love hearing your stories.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
And I think it's also great too to share your progress because it breeds. Oh, Mutita. Have you ever heard of Mutita? Did I tell you about this yet?
Oh God, no.
I introduced it to some of my coworkers and they make fun of me.
Oh yes, you told me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did I share it on the podcast?
No.
Okay. So everybody needs to know this.
Yes.
Mutita, I believe it's a Sanskrit word. I'm not 100% on that. I could be wrong, but mudita, Mudita, is finding joy in somebody else's successes. So you can add to mudita, you can say mudita, and then fireworks it down.
I love it.
Yeah.
Everybody should try it.
So share with us so we can give you mudita because we love other people's successes. We want to hear about it and it just amplifies the energy of mudita.
No, it's really true.
It is.
It makes us so excited, like hearing what comes up for you, like all of it. Okay. I tried to look up the origin of jack-o'-lantern, but it's way too much to
We'll save it for
read.
Next Halloween. It's
but
coming up again.
It has something to do with the Irish tradition. Stay tuned. Carved from turnips and potatoes or beets. What? That's crazy. Wait a minute. Yeah. So, that's another thing too. I mean, after we're done with the tarot series, I think we even started this because of a request from someone or people asking us to go deeper into tarot. And we've said this the entire year, but we mean it. If you have different topics, different techniques, different practices, anything you want us to cover, let us know because we'll talk about it maybe in between while we're doing the tarot series or when we're done. And you don't know like how long we're going to be here doing it. So come on.
Whoa, what's that supposed to mean?
I'm trying. It's like lighting fire.
Are you trying to scare people?
No, motivate.
Okay. Well, you scared me.
I'm trying to inspire. Where's my card? I try to be the 6 of Wands.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
So that's it.
Hey, my name is Yolanda.
Oh my gosh. What are we doing next week?
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yes. Yeah. No, wait. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. So next week we'll do 8, 9, 10. But please share with us in the comments your translations of the ones we did this week. And yeah, we're moving right along. We're going to be done with these cards in 2.5. Mutita. Bye, everybody.
Bye.